To begin with, I had to join the WRVS, the local branch, and then it was a matter of whatever time the planes came in and they came to the camp, the Asians, whether it was in the daytime or 2 in the morning. I just got a phone call and had to go up there and allocate the beds for any families or individuals into Stradishall and the houses. The phone call would come at any time of the day or night, but especially it seemed to be about 2 o'clock in the morning. So up you would get in the car and drive to Stradishall, where you were saying there are so many coming in on the coaches, and you would then have to somebody would give you a list of where the beds were available or which houses, and you would just have to, actually it was trial and error, just allocate a family, as to how many there were, half a dozen or just 4, into the suitable houses that there were available up there. And then, later on when they'd all come and you reached capacity, then we had the voucher system for food and milk and things like that. The families had houses, and then single people had, I don't know, I suppose more dormitory type of allocation in the barracks, whatever they had up there at the time in the 70s. And then we had a sort of voucher system for milk or food or something like that. Most of them were quite cheerful under the circumstances, but I think some of them, if they had families here or who had ran shops or something, that they would all go there as quickly as they could to join other families or relations. But they just stayed there until they were allocated, I suppose, another house somewhere else in the country. But families were important, obviously, to them, and quite a few did have relations. It seemed to be a lot of voluntary, mostly WRVS seemed to do an awful lot of running, or local organisations. I think you've just got to help as much as you can and see where they can go. I think I learnt they were very hard working. They'd obviously had very good businesses, and they come over to this country with absolutely nothing but a plastic bag full of clothes maybe. A lot of them maybe were quite wealthy and trying to get any of their belongings out. They came with absolutely nothing, just a plastic bag full of very basic belongings. I think that probably most of it was taken when they were in Uganda before they boarded the plane. It wasn't until you actually met them and heard some of their stories that you realise how bad it really was. Obviously it was sad to leave where they'd been, because they had very thriving businesses, most of them, but if you had a family here it did help, and then obviously they made what they could of life and got on and worked hard. And they must have, I presume they've all done very well, or the majority of them. Well, I think near the end, before they all was disbanded and closed down, they did cook us a very good curry. All the volunteers were invited, so all the women got round in their house and invited us, and we had a really good curry. Yes, I was much younger then, so it was interesting. And having been a nurse, it was an interesting to meet other people from a totally different continent. Yes, it was.